I've been a big fan of Ubuntu Budgie since I started using Linux, and I'm quite happy that they have released a new LTS version, the Ubuntu Budgie 22.04, nicknamed Jammy Jellyfish. So we'll talk about some of the improvements done over the previous version, which is 20.04 Focal Fossa. But first, I'll be guiding you to the whole installation process. Now, as you can see, I've already created a virtual machine and has already added the ISO file. But first, I would like to thank everyone who have already subscribed to my channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so by clicking the subscribe button and the bell notification button so that you will be notified every time a new content is uploaded. So this is already our virtual machine. So let's first try to change the resolution of our virtual machine so that everything can be seen. All of the buttons can be seen during the installation process. So I'm going to click here, Application Launcher. Then let's try to search for displays. Okay, click Display. Then let's try to change this one from 800 by 600 to let's try to check if we can make it. Okay, 1440 by 900, then click Apply. Okay, so try to keep this configuration. Okay, let's try to adjust it a little bit more. Maybe let's try to make it into 1920 by 800. Apply. Keep this configuration as well. Okay. Okay. We'll just have to keep it at 1440 by 900. This one. Okay, click Apply. Apply. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is already okay. Keep this configuration. Okay, so we have here the welcome screen, and we have here the button install now. So this is try to click install now. So this will actually be an installation guide on what are some of the processes that is actually involved when trying to install Ubuntu Budgie 22.04. Okay, so we have here install. Now the first thing that will be coming up is what the language, the option to select the language. So we have here English. Okay, let's try to click continue. Since by default it's in English, so we want to use the English language. Next is we have here the keyboard layout. Now for the keyboard layout, we have here English US. Okay, let's just try to set it at default, which is English US. Okay, then let's try to click continue. Next, we have here updates in other software. So basically for the updates, we have several options. So what apps would you like to install to start with? So we have here normal installation. Now for normal installation, we have the following options. We have here web browser, utilities, office software, games, and media players. For minimal installation, basically it will only be installing a browser and some basic utilities. Another option that we have here is we can download updates while installing Ubuntu Budgie. So basically what happens is that while currently the operating system is being installed, updates is also being installed along the installation process, along with the installation process. So we'll have to have this one checked, and we'll also just try to select normal installation. Then we can click continue. Okay. Let's try to wait first for a while. Okay, the display somehow has issues again. Okay, let's try to change again the resolution. Displays. Okay. I have to go back to 1440 by 900, then apply. Okay, let's try to click. Okay, try to close. Now, we have our installation type. Now for this computer currently has no detected operating system. So I've created a clean virtual machine. So it doesn't contain any application operating systems yet. So we have here the option to erase and install Ubuntu Budgie or do something else. Now since we basically wanted to install Ubuntu Budgie, so let's have this one selected. Then we can just click install now. Okay, so we will be prompted, write the changes to disk. Now, if you continue, the changes listed below will be written to the disk. Otherwise, you will be able to make further changes manually. So we can just try to leave it as is. And let's just try to click continue. Okay, so another option that will be asked from us is the location of or where we are currently located. So here we have by default, let's try to set it to Manila. Okay, then let's try to click continue. Then we will be asked for our username. Okay, let's try to put here my name, then our password. So we have the option to log in automatically or require my password to log in. So we'll just have to select this one, require my password to log in. Then let's try to click continue. Okay, so it's currently installing already. So this time we'll just have to wait for everything to be finished. Okay, let's try to remove this time the installation medium. Okay, this is the press enter. Let's try to wait for the system to boot this time. So this time we'll be logging in for the very first time. Okay, so let's specify our password. Okay. So Ubuntu Budgie is the official Budgie flavor that features the Budgie desktop environment. It is uniquely designed to give users an alternative desktop experience depending upon the GNOME stack. Budgie, by the way, uses the GTK3 series for its components. Okay, so So as you can see, if it reverted back to its 800 by 600 resolution. So let's try to change the resolution first, just like what we did a while ago. So I'm going to I'm going to type here displays. Then let's try to change the resolution to 1440 by 900 and set to click apply. We have here no, not restore. Okay, sorry about that. 1440 by 900, then apply and keep this configuration. Okay, so let's just try to restart the system so that everything will be reset back. This is actually called blank, so it should be somewhere here. So let's try to restart the system again. Okay, so we have your restart device. Are you sure you want to end your session? Okay, we can just click restart this time. So let's try to re-log in again. Okay, specified the login the password. Let's try to wait for a while. So the 2204 release brings the latest Budgie 10.6 series, which brings several improvements since the last LTS version of Ubuntu Budgie. One of the major change includes the Budgie indicator applet, which now supports the Ayatana indicators. Okay, so it's, as you've noticed, by the way, it's already 1440 by 900. Now, the Ayatana indicator applet and the Ayatana webmail installation are now possible, supporting desktop notification integration with the evolution of Thunderbird email client. Okay, so let's adjust our window. Okay. So basically also, Ubuntu 2204 LTS is the base for Ubuntu Budgie 2204. Okay, the Linux kernel is 5.15, which brings proper support for the latest CPU, GPU from the manufacturers. So those are actually just some of the improvements done from 2004 to 2204. Another notable change is that the system tray has also changed, making it look more professional with proper spacing between icons. So it's a system tray. And the Budgie welcome. Okay, let's try to go back to our Budgie welcome. So this is our Budgie welcome. Budgie welcome tool now both features Brave and Microsoft Edge. Okay, so let's try later to install maybe either Brave or Microsoft Edge since it's already part of the option. Chrome OS layout is also available if you like the Chrome OS layout. Another notable difference from 2004 to 2204 is that Firefox browser has transitioned from the deb version, so it's no longer a deb version, to Snap. So currently, the Firefox is already in a Snap in Ubuntu. So basically, it was removed from the deb version and transferred it to the Firefox version. Okay, so let's try to do some simple customization, and let's also try to install, if it's possible for us to install either Firefox or not actually Firefox, but Brave and Microsoft Edge. Okay, so we have here our Ubuntu. We have here our Ubuntu Budgie welcome screen. Okay, so we have your introduction, features, getting started, recommendations. Okay, let's try to select this time install software. So we have here Budgie extras, recommendation software. Let's try to select software center. Now, okay, so this is actually our software center. So let's try to browse some software online. We can also try to search for the software that we wanted to install. Now, in this case, let's try to look for Microsoft Edge, if it's possible for us to look for Microsoft Edge. So it's not there. Maybe we can select for something like Edge. So let's try also to look for different installed applications. Brave browser. So we'll try to install either Brave or Edge. So we have here the option to install this one. So Brave, faster and safer. Browse faster and safer with Brave. So I have to select loading application details. So we have the option to install the Brave browser, but I'm not going to install it yet. So this is actually where you can actually go to your welcome Budgie welcome. Then you can just select Software Center, or maybe you can go to your application browser. Then you can type Software Center. It's not found there. So we have your software. Okay. So this is actually one way of trying to install it. Your application. So there's no need for us to go through the terminal when trying to use Linux anymore. So let's say also to search for Firefox. Oh, so Firefox is already installed by default. It's already installed on our web browser. Updated software, Ubuntu Budgie is okay. Was released. Do you want to install it now? Maybe try to select remind me later. I'll just try to update it later. So what else? Okay, so let's try to customize our, as what I've said, let's try to customize our Ubuntu our Budgie, our Ubuntu Budgie. Okay, so try to close first. Now we also have our recommend Budgie extras. Now we have here several Budgie desktop settings. So we can actually install analog clock applet, so application launcher applet, menu. So these are some of the applets that we can install after the operating system has been installed. So it's actually right under your welcome or your Budgie welcome, or under your Budgie welcome. Okay, so to go back. Okay, Snap Apps. Okay, let's try to wait for a while. Now, one of the things, by the way, that I've noticed with Snap is that it can be quite slow when it comes to loading, even during the installation process. We have here snapgraph.io. So it's actually, this is where we can actually install where we can install some of the application that runs on Snap. Okay, maybe we can try to select Microsoft Edge. Try to see if it's possible for us. We're going to find anything here. Search. Okay. Okay, let's try to close. Flatpak apps. Let's try to look for it under Flatpak apps if it's possible, because that's based actually on the documentation that we can install Brave or Microsoft Edge. So it's actually it's already part of the installation options. So okay, so this time we're using flat apps. Zero results. So you still cannot find it. But it's actually part of their documentation that it's very much possible already to install Microsoft Edge. But for some unknown reason, I cannot seem to find where to install Microsoft Edge using the Budgie welcome options. Okay. So for game, let's try to look under gaming. So these are some of the gaming applications that we can also install on our Budgie. So we have here gaming clients, gaming tools, game list, and so on. These are actually quite interesting games. Let's say to go back. Okay, say to close this one. Say to close the Budgie welcome. Okay. Let's try to look also what's under the hood. Now we have two options, by the way. We can open and search apps, and we can view by category. So let's try to select view by category. Now once we try to select view by category, everything has been categorized. So by accessories, games, graphics, internet, office, sound and video, system tools, and universal access. Now for accessories, these are all of the different application under accessories. We have Archive Manager. Archive Manager in terms of in Windows, we have either WinZip or WinRAR or 7-zip. Okay. You also have your backups, Budgie ARM and Pi, discourse, themes, and layouts. Okay, let's try to select it later. We also have Budgie Welcome. So we have already seen Budgie Welcome, calculator, characters, disk, files, fonts, okay, maps, menu editor, Plank reference preferences. This is actually called your Plank. This one, it's called Plank. For all of you guys who are still new to Budgie. Okay, let's try to select this time Budgie Themes and Layouts, if it's possible for us to change the layout. So again, we'll be going back to our Budgie Welcome. So we have here switch appearance. So we can also install the different appearance that we wanted to use for our operating system. So we have here arc design, material design, Orchis, Posilio. I don't know how it's pronounced, Posilio or Pochilio, White Sor. Okay. We won't be applying anything. We have here desktop layout as well. So this is our Ubuntu Budgie, the default desktop layout. We also have here classic Ubuntu Budgie. So this is actually our default layout. Redmond 11. We also have traditional Budgie. Chrome. Okay, so this is actually what I've been telling you about. So we can also apply the layout, Chrome layout, if you're more comfortable in using the Chrome layout. You can actually just click install layout. Okay, so let's try to go back. Okay, go back here also. So we have a Budgie Welcome. So that's also already your Budgie Welcome. You have games. These are all of the different pre-installed games. Graphics, document scanner, and so on. Internet. So we only have 3 so far. We have transmission, Thunderbird Mail, and Firefox web browser. Now basically Thunderbird Mail, for those of you that doesn't know what Thunderbird Mail is actually a mail client similar to Microsoft Outlook. So that's the open source counterpart of Microsoft Outlook, which is Thunderbird Mail client. For the Office, we have here all of the different Office applications. Now, one of the things that I've noticed with Ubuntu in other operating systems that they would often use LibreOffice. They're not using other Office applications. So one of the things, by the way, that I don't like about LibreOffice is that it can be quite old when it comes to its appearance. But functionality wise, I don't have any complaints. It can be a little bit old. Okay, it's a bit aged compared to other, or especially compared to Microsoft Office suite. Then we have here sound and video. Okay, celluloid, cheese, rhythm box player. Now you can also install VLC if you wanted to use VLC. Of course, we have system tools. So these are the different system tools that we can use. Login window. Here's how to select login window. Specify our password. Okay, so we can change also our login window, but I won't be doing any changes here yet. Then of course we have universal access, Magnus onboard and onboard settings. Okay, so there are some things also that you can do with your desktop to make it more based on your preference. So like for example, we wanted, if you like for example this one, if you wanted to change the wallpaper, what you can basically do, you can just right click on the desktop, then change desktop background. Okay, so let's say for example we're going to select this one. Then okay, so we don't need to click anything. We can also click add picture if you wanted to add picture, since we don't have any other pictures, so we can just try to leave it as is. They can also do something like this. Okay, so Budgie Themes. Okay, organize desktop by name. Give your desktop settings. Try to select desktop settings. Now for Budgie desktop settings, we can select style. So for widgets, we have Puchilio dark, arc dark. Okay, for icons, Puchilio. Cursors, DMZ white. Okay, desktop. So we have the option to select what desktop icons we wanted to show. So like for example, if there's a flash drive or USB drive that has been inserted onto our machine, it will be shown here if this option is activated, as well as our home directory. Now as you notice, the home directory already appeared. Same also with trash. You can also change the number of virtual desktop. For virtual desktop, these are actually your virtual desktop. If you're going to add, okay, as you've noticed, it's also adding here. That's our virtual desktop. For fonts, these are all the different fonts. I won't be doing any changes here. Raven. So we have left, right. Okay, that's right. Left. This is actually your Raven. Okay. So for Raven, you have your the applet. Okay, you will also be seeing what is currently playing, as well as the different devices that is currently attached to the machine. So currently we have here two options. We have amplifier, and we have both analog options, as well as we can also see the calendar and the notifications. So let's try to keep it on the right. Okay, so show calendar, output widget, and so on. Show power strip. Okay, I cannot seem to find the power strip. At the bottom of Raven. Okay, so we have here, this is actually power strip, I think. Okay, so we disable. Yep, that's the power strip. Okay, this one is actually called our power strip. Now for Windows, okay, we have here attach modal dialog, Windows button layout. So this is actually your button layout here on top. So currently the standard is on the right. We can also select it. We can also try to change it to left if you wanted to, but let's just try to keep it on the right. Now we have here center new window on screen. Okay, that's enabled. You can also enable or disable our night light, push notification, automatic tiling, focus window. Okay, show all window in tab switcher. Now for the top panel, this is actually called our top panel here. This is actually called our top panel. So you have your settings. Now we have your position on top, or maybe you can put it at the bottom if you wanted to, or on the left, or on the right. So in our case, or in my case, I'm going to put it on top. Then automatically hide, I'm going to set it to never. Transparency dynamic. Okay. Then shadow, I'm going to have to turn on. stylized region. Okay. Then dock mode. So notice, by the way, I actually love it when I set it to dock mode. That is dock mode. So it's going to shrink. So it's just going to be this little dock here on top, which is in line with plank here at the bottom. Now, if you wanted also to set the auto start, or to set an application where it will be running, or it will be starting every time you turn on your machine, so you can actually set it here in auto start. So you can look for you can actually add application. Okay, you can look for the different applications here, which will be turning on or every time you also turn on the machine. So currently, okay, we have it cancel. Currently, we only have here plank. That's why we have, every time we run the application, or every time we try to turn on our machine, plank is also enabled, or plank is also running. So as what I've said, I won't be doing that much customization when it comes to this particular review. So this is just a simple review on Ubuntu Budgie. So on my Ubuntu Budgie, by the way, I installed some applications, or will be installing some applications, because I deleted, or I installed the latest Ubuntu Budgie, and the previous Budgie that I use, all of the applications that I installed on 2004 version has been deleted. So I'll be installing it all over again. So on my next video session, or my next video, I'll be showing you some of the applications that I installed on my Ubuntu Budgie 2204. Okay, so now, as what I've said, guys, if you still haven't subscribe to my channel, please do so. Okay, so I will be uploading a new content from time to time, since I'm quite busy right now. But for those of you that have already subscribed to my channel, I would like you guys to I would like to thank you guys for all of the support, and all of the comments also. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I'll try to keep this channel educational, so that at least you will be able to learn something new every time you open my channel. So thank you again, guys, and have a pleasant day.